Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to The Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on Relationship Tuesday, and we're here to open your mind. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to The Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on Relationship Tuesday, and we are here to open your mind. I have two of my favorite people in the studio with me today. I have Henry Jolly, our resident therapist, to our, i.e. my right.
Good morning.
And I have my favorite clinical psychologist, Dr. Brian Turner, to my left.
Good morning, world. Good morning.
And he's like all decked out today, suit, tie, like.
It's a facade because I got to go home and do manual labor, so I had something else to do. But I'm going to turn it to Brian Turner, the two-man something after this. I got to go.
Speaking of double standards, look, he portrays himself as this, and then y'all see him in the T-shirt on the radio. If y'all watch us on Facebook Live, make sure you do that. We are on the Good Life Radio Show. Eileen Carter, follow us, follow Henry Jolly, and follow Dr. Brian Turner as well. We are living the good life this morning, and there are so many double standards in the world that I really wanted to talk about this today. I don't even remember what I thought that we were going to talk about, but, you know, we're going to open people's minds to living differently in the world. I know y'all have been hearing about this Colin Kaepernick silent protest of not standing during the National Anthem. Anybody want to give me their thoughts on the matter? Because I have something I want to read.
We're going to wait till after you read. Let's wait till after you read.
You're going to wait till after you read?
Yeah.
I will say someone who did give their thoughts on the matter, and I was like, you know what? You need to take a seat. Do you know who I'm talking about? Our beloved.
Mr. Brees.
Yes, our beloved.
Take a seat.
Yeah.
What you mean? Like bench?
No.
Oh.
But I mean, he could play better right now. But you know.
I'm about to say,
That's what
man.
you need to be focusing on.
Well, that was my thoughts exactly when I read it. And you know, y'all know I'm not one to be like, y'all
What
know
do you
I'm
say,
happy
though?
and jolly and all that.
I'll
get into that too.
All right.
Let
Let me hear this, man.
But I found an article in theintercept.com. So if you want to find it there, you can. It's theintercept.com. It said, Colin Kaepernick is whiter than you know. The national anthem is a celebration of slavery. And I think history, you know, lots of people on WOK, we love our history, and there are a lot of listeners who call in and give us history. And there's a lot of things that we just don't know or we haven't read, you know, enough into that, you know, we're just ignorant of. And I don't mind saying that I'm ignorant to something because it's just a lack of knowledge. And once I educate myself, then I'm no longer ignorant. Well, I will say I will raise my hand that I was absolutely ignorant of this and had no clue and really didn't care before this, it became a controversy.
Right.
TheIntercept.com goes on to say that, and this was written by John Schwartz, so I want to give him his props. This was written by John Schwartz in TheIntercept.com. It's actually online. I don't know if it's in print, but here we go anyway. Before a preseason game on Friday, San Francisco 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick refused to stand for the playing of the Star-Spangled Banner. When he explained why, he only spoke about the present. I am not going to stand up to show pride in a flag for a country that oppresses black people and people of color. There are bodies in the street and people getting paid leave and getting away with murder. Twitter then went predictably nuts with at least one 49ers fan burning Kaepernick's jersey. Almost no one seems to be aware that even if the U.S. were a perfect country today, it would be bizarre to expect African-American players to stand for the Star-Spangled Banner. And you ask why, because I asked why, and I was like, why? They said because it literally celebrates the murder of African-Americans. Did you know that?
Does it really?
Well, I'm about to read it for you.
All right, let me hear
Because,
this, man.
ignorance is just,
Yeah, because I didn't know that.
what Chuck's like to say, a lack of intellectual curiosity.
Yeah.
So, I just had a lack of intellectual curiosity.
Educate
but
me
I'm
this
being
morning.
educated.
I
We all
hate-
being
I hate
educated
school,
this morning.
But yeah, educate me.
Exactly. Few people know this because we only ever sing the first verse.
Okay.
Right. But read the end of the third verse, and you'll see why the Star-Spangled Banner is not just a musical atrocity. It's an intellectual and moral one, too. Here we go. Third verse, or part of it. No refuge could save the hireling and slave from the terror of flight or the gloom of the grave. And the Star-Spangled Banner in a triumph doth wave, or the land of the free and the home of the brave. The Star-Spangled Banner, Americans hazily remember, was written by Francis Scott Key about the Battle of Fort McHenry in Baltimore during the War of 1812. But we don't ever talk about how the War of 1812 was a war of aggression that began with an attempt by the U.S. to grab Canada from the British Empire. However, we widely overestimated the strength of the U.S. military. However, we'd widely overestimated the strength of the U.S. military. By the time of the Battle of Fort McHenry in 1814, the British had counterattacked and overrun Washington, D.C., setting fire to the White House. And one of the key tactics behind the British military success was its active recruitment of American slaves. Let me repeat that. One of the key tactics behind the British military success was its active recruitment of American slaves. That means your great-great-greats, my great-great-greats, your great-great-greats, listeners, your great-great-greats. Yes. Mm-hmm. Correct. So, as detailed in a 2014 article in Harper's, explains the orders given to the Royal Navy Admiral Sir George Cockburn read, "Let the landings you make be more for the protection of the desertion of the black population than with a view to any other advantage. The great point to be attained is the cordial support of the black population. With them properly armed and backed with 20,000 British troops, Mr. Madison will be hurled from his throne," speaking of the president. "Whole families found their way to the ships of the British, who accepted everyone and pledged no one would be given back to their, i.e. owners. Adult men were trained to create a regiment called the Colonial Marines, who participated in many of the most important battles, including the August 1814 raid on Washington. Then on the night of September 13, 1814, the British bombarded Fort McHenry. Key, who wrote the Star-Spangled Banner, seeing the fort's flag the next morning, was inspired to write the lyrics for the Star-Spangled Banner. So when Key penned no refuge could save the hireling and slave from the terror of flight or the gloom of the grave, he was taking great satisfaction in the death of slaves who'd freed themselves. His perspective may have been affected by the fact that he owned several slaves himself. With that in mind, think again about the next two lines. And the Star-Spangled Banner in triumph doth wave, or the land of the free and the home of the brave." So, the reality is that there were human beings fighting for freedom with incredible bravery during the War of 1812. However, the Star-Spangled Banner glorifies America's triumph over them and then turns the reality completely upside down, transforming their killers into the courageous freedom fighters. After the U.S. and the British signed a peace treaty at the end of 1814, the U.S. government demanded the return of American, i.e. property. You and I, our grandfathers, our great-great-great-grandfathers, our great-great-grandmothers, cousins, and all that other stuff, which by that point numbered about 6,000 people. The British refused. Thank you, British. Most of the 6,000 eventually settled in Canada, and some going to Trinidad, where their descendants are still known as, i.e. Americans. Furthermore, if those leading the backlash against Kaepernick need more inspiration, they can get it from Francis Scott Key's later life. In 1833, Key was a district attorney for Washington, D.C. As described in a book called Snowstorm in August by former Washington Post reporter Jefferson Morley, the police were notorious thieves, frequently stealing free blacks' possessions with impunity. One night, one of the constables tried to attack a woman who escaped and ran away, until she fell off a bridge across the Potomac and drowned. There is neither mercy nor justice for colored people in this district. An abolitionist paper wrote. No fuss or stir was made about it. She was gotten out of the river and was buried, and there the matter ended. Key was furious and indicted the newspaper for intending to injure and oppress, aggrieve, and vilify the good name, fame, credit, and reputation of the magistrates and constables of Washington County. So you can decide for yourself whether there is some connection between what happened 200 years ago and what Colin Kaepernick is angry about today. Maybe it's all ancient, meaningless history, or maybe it's not, and Kaepernick is right, and we really need a new national anthem. So, with all that being said, this was an article from theintercept.com written by John Schwartz. He wrote it on August 28th. And I just wanted to open people's mind to living differently in the world because obviously I personally feel that there's a double standard, and especially with our athletes. As long as our athletes of color are doing and staying in their IE lane, it's okay, and we can root for them, and they're our heroes. But when they want to speak up for themselves, then it's a problem.
Did he get fined for doing that? Is he going to get fined? No, nothing?
Silent protest. It's his First Amendment right.
The NFL actually has a policy that they don't require the players to stand. They just ask for them to, be on the field and be present. So He didn't do anything that violated his collective bargaining agreement. In other words.
All right. Let me get into this. So, what we usually sing is just the first verse. There's 3 verses to this thing.
Right.
It's like a Tupac song. Got more that we don't know about. All right.
That's
I don't know.
Right?
I think people make a big deal about tradition. Like, you should do this because it's tradition and that. At the end of the day, we got to see if he made the right decision because, we don't know if this is going to affect his paycheck. Will he still be a 49er? I know his jersey probably selling like crazy.
He said he doesn't. He said it is more important for him to stand up for what he believes in.
Hey, man, that's on him. Hey, hats off to you if that's how you feel. I know if it was me, man, I'm trying to get that check. So I don't care nothing about a song. I mean, I've been through so many situations. Even in, I'll give you an example. The high school I went to, great high school. I didn't agree with some things, but I don't even know like the alma mater fight songs, and I don't even know them. And I didn't care to know them.
Well, sometimes if this is my personal opinion, if you're not fully aware of a situation and you don't educate yourself on all sides, then maybe it's not something necessarily that you should speak out against, especially if you are in the public eye. So, with that being said, the BleacherReport.com, Drew Brees criticizes Colin Kaepernick for sitting during National Anthem.
What do you say?
And I'm going to go on to read that, too.
Can I jump in right quick?
Go ahead.
Yeah, hit
me. So I was trying to, really parse my words with this. And so it's been written about and it's been talked about the love-hate relationship that African Americans have with the nation that we live in, that we reside in, that we're citizens of. I think Colin Kaepernick, with all of the other acts of civil unrest, civil disobedience, Black Lives Matter, he brings to the forefront once again the issue that W.B. Du Bois talked about, the issue that Dr. King talked about as he came to his demise, that nobody wants to look at his actual words before he passed. Brings to light the fact that as African Americans living in this country, we are not expected to behave outside of a very limited and very narrow perspective. So we're not supposed to know the words of the National Anthem and what it really was for. We're supposed to follow tradition, as Henry's saying. We're not supposed to question that. And then when we do know, how dare we attempt to, in any way, shape, or form, challenge it?
How dare we?
And I think Colin Kaepernick has moved many folks because now you see athletes who did and were active and involved in the civil rights era coming out and speaking. You do have athletes, white and black, who disagree with him, which is fine. But I think what comes to the table is what I'm reminded of, and by no means, and I do not want to say this in an insensitive way, I think about what happens when you have a person in an abusive relationship. And a lot of times I've heard it said that African Americans in America, it's like an abusive relationship. We really have nowhere else to go. At times it can be very good for some of us, and we can be successful and healthy and happy. But when it's bad, it's bad. And right now, Colin Kaepernick is bringing attention to what's bad and what we need to address and what many African Americans are willing to address and deal with, but not many people on the other side of the table. And so as you're about to lead, and that's what I wanted to, as you're about to lead into Drew Brees, he in the same space has been afforded a lot of space and energy and effort to make a lot of money and to do a lot of things. But he may not even know of the many African Americans who were not even given that right to play quarterback or play in the NFL because of their skin color. And so he may not even want to engage in the thought process behind the fact that he was afforded opportunities to be in a place that other people weren't simply because of skin color. So go back to John Gillum and Terry Bradshaw, black quarterback from Louisiana who was a quarterback before Terry Bradshaw, but they did not want to start him. So it just so happened that Gillum got hurt. Terry Bradshaw went on to win 4 Super Bowl championships. Terry Bradshaw acknowledges it and says that if it wasn't for Gillum both mentoring him and tutoring him, he would not have been as good as he is. But he also recognizes, had it not been for him getting hurt, Terry Bradshaw may never have made it to the football field.
Exactly.
Tight.
Exactly. So with that being said, I'm going to read this, and thank you, Brian, for that. So on point. And our followers on Facebook Live are agreeing with you as well. On BleacherReport.com, and it's on many different
It ain't on it in Times Picayune.
Drew Brees spoke to Mike Triplett of ESPN, and Drew Brees said I'm just going to read it. Brees said he felt compelled to speak out because Kaepernick's protest had been bothering him all day long. I wholeheartedly disagree, Brees says. Not that he wants to speak out about a very important issue. No, he can speak out about a very important issue, but there's plenty of other ways that you can do that in a peaceful manner that doesn't involve being disrespectful to the American flag. Triplett noted Brees, a supporter of the United States military, called the flag sacred. Triplett relayed more of Brees' comments. Brees said, I think the more important point to make here is that the flag represents the freedoms that you have the chance as an American to exercise. So sitting down for that is a blatant disrespect of the freedoms that gives you. Like it's an oxymoron that you're sitting down, disrespecting the flag that has given you the freedom to speak out. So Brees had so much backlash against it. That he then went on Twitter and said, on this issue, I agree with his protest. I don't agree with his method. Read the article. I said it 3 times. But Drew Brees, as a member of the Houdat Nation since birth, and we adopted you as our family in this city, and our children look up for you. I needed you to speak out on that very important issue that you called a little bit more than you spoke out on the flag. Because you have so many young children that look just like Colin Kaepernick that look up to you, and they needed a voice for them from the Houdat Nation. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to take calls. This is the Good Life Relationship Tuesday. We'll be right back. Small businesses play an important role in society, and L&R Security is no different. L&R Security delivers safety and comfort to our neighborhoods, events, apartment communities, conventions, work sites, festivals, and your business. L&R Security can be reached at 504-943-3191 to ensure the safety of your employees, customers, family, friends, and you. L&R Security has made its mark in the security arena for over 37 years and will faithfully continue that tradition. Call today for your personalized consultation to ensure your security needs are met. L&R Security differentiates itself by creating partnerships with our clients and guards. We are now hiring armed and unarmed guard professionals, retired military, sheriffs, and PD to grow with us and impact our community. Be a part of the change with L&R Security. Call us now at 504-943-3191. 504-943-3191.
Are you satisfied with your current financial position? My name is Kenneth Barnes, President and CEO of KB Enterprises, where we specialize in putting together step-by-step financial action steps for your plan for today and for tomorrow. Whether you're 50 to 85 and need assistance with your final expenses, we have coverage options for every situation. Let us put life back into your finances. Call us today at 504-914-1202. That's 504-914-1202.
Are you looking for a better way to get fit? Bored with the same old routines? Looking for results or a way to instill discipline in the kids? Tiger Rock Martial Arts is the answer with Taekwondo, kickboxing, and self-defense classes. Tiger Rock diversifies your training in ways that allows individuals of all ages and fitness levels to feel like a champion. Join Tiger Rock today. TigerRockNola.com or 504-455-9694. That's 504-455-9694 with a 3-class starter pack starting for only $38, which includes your training uniform. Learn, grow, and succeed with Tiger Rock's 3 convenient locations: Old Metairie, West Bank, and Clearview. There's no better time to start gaining strength, skills, and protection for life than now. 504-455-9694. 504-455-9694. See you on the mat.
Gumbo Talk Thursday on the Good Life Radio Show is brought to you by the Downtown Development District. 40 years ago, the DDD was created to foster economic development in the heart of the Crescent City. Well, today, that vision is a real success, and downtown NOLA is thriving. Tune in Thursdays to the Good Life Radio Show at 11 a.m. to connect with shops, businesses, and nationally recognized restaurants in downtown to be a part of what's happening in your city that you call home. Visit Downtown NOLA today. It's the Good Life. Carter Business Development delivers. For businesses to compete, they must have access. Let CBD be your bridge for business development services, radio advertising, social media marketing, brand ambassador, outreach, and access. Contact Carter Business Development at 504-400-7127 or email Eileen@tglradioshow.com. Carter Business Development creates unfolding opportunities. CBD connects the dots from where you are to where you want to be. Join the good life now with Carter Business Development, 504-400-7127, 504-400-7127. As quoted, a man who stops advertising to save money is like a man who stops a clock to save time. Let CBD save you time and give you access. Call 504-400-7127, 504-400-7127. Take the steps required for access so you can live the good life too with Carter Business Development. That's 504-400-7127.
Hi, I'm Henry Jolly, your relationship expert and nationally certified counselor. Everyone at some point in their life goes through struggles. I'm a firm believer that people have the ability to will themselves into good situations, but sometimes they may need some assistance. Being a loving husband, father, and successful businessman while having a passion for the counseling profession has allowed me to gain experience with a variety of these struggles. Let's work together to achieve your individual, family, or marital potential. Come and see me at the New Orleans Growth Center, located at 3712 MacArthur Boulevard on the West Bank in Suite 209. You can reach me at 504-259-8671 or by email, which is henry.jolly@yahoo.com. Thanks for your time, and I'm looking forward to working with you soon.
WBOK, real talk for real times. Good night, hey. Good night, yes. Good night,
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to The Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on Relationship Tuesday, and we're here to open your mind. We are living the good life right here on Relationship Tuesday, and our relationship today is our race relations, and I don't understand why it's necessarily that hard to say. You know, we're talking about double standards this morning. We are talking about the Colin Kaepernick silent protest to sit during the national anthem. And if you didn't hear the entirety of the beginning of the show, you really should have. And I am actually going to take that article from theintercept.com, and I'm going to place it on our Facebook page, The Good Life Radio Show, The Good Life Radio Show. So make sure you go there right after the show, because I will post it for you so you can read it there for yourself. And if you're following me now on Facebook, Eileen Carter, I already posted it on my personal page, so you can look it up there. Long story short, he gives a history of the national anthem, letting us know that in the third verse it says, no refuge could save the hireling and slave from the terror of flight or the gloom of the grave, and the star-spangled banner in triumph doth wave, or the land of the free and the home of the brave. It was in the War of 1812. The British wanted to defeat the Americans, so they hired slaves, people who wanted to be free, and long story short, Francis Scott Key, who wrote the Star-Spangled Banner, was excited that, you know, over the night the flag was still there, and that, you know, i.e. slaves were killed. The end. That's my short summary of it. But you can read The Intercept and get it for the full version for yourself. I'd like everybody to read it for themselves and digest it. We're also discussing Drew Brees' comments on it, and I'm going to read them once more before I go to lines, because I have Sekou on the line, and he's been patiently waiting through the break, so thank you so much. He said, I wholeheartedly disagree. Not that he wants to speak about a very important issue. No, he can speak about a very important issue, but there's plenty of other ways that you can do that in a peaceful manner that doesn't involve being disrespectful to the American flag. So, Drew, what's that very important issue? Can you state it? I don't understand the words that are coming out of your mouth. Is that very important issue? I just need to understand. And y'all know, like, I love Drew Brees, like, but, you know, like, Mattel has pictures with you, like, you know.
He's trying to protect his brand, too, though. Like, he don't want to.
If you don't know, just don't say. Mama said, if I don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything.
Maybe
But he does know.
Maybe he did.
No, you're right.
But
He does know.
He does know.
He knows his. I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to get myself in trouble this morning.
He does know his perspective, his position. So, and once again, routinely, and I'm going to be very clinical, so it's a space where I operate in this multicultural competency and diversity affirming work. And all too often, persons sit in positions of power and privilege, and they believe that their position is the position that other people should have. And that means they don't feel they have to come down off of their hill to do the work to find out how the people below them are operating. So for him, the ideal of what the issue is about you just respect the flag. I don't really want to hear about your other injustices or issues that you deal with. And even if he does know, which side does he take in this space? Does he take the side that leaves him protected and privileged? Probably so. Or does he do like some athletes? So it actually still has been a number of athletes. Actually, Colin Kaepernick's teammates have all come out and routinely stated that they support him and what he does. They may not do it, but they're not going to say he can't. So even if they don't like how he did what he did, they recognize that it is his space to do what he feels is the best.
Look, well, go ahead.
And he gives, and that's the respect given. But to take and attempt to disparage the man because you simply don't have his experience, or because
Right.
So Rodney Harrison, I'm pretty sure it's a true article because he was quoted in several spaces, but Rodney Harris says that Colin Kaepernick can't have that conversation because he's not black. So there's a black athlete, and
Ain't
I'm not
he half
trying to.
black?
Yeah, but you know, in America, you got a little bit of
You're
black.
supposed to be black. Yeah,
So,
that's it.
but Rodney Harris, another athlete with some status, has made another comment. So not to take the heat of Drew Brees, but it's going back to what position do you want to take? Do you
Right.
not want to look at what's going on, be critical and analytical about what's happening, and then take a position of, okay, this is how I feel about it, or do you just react?
Look, a step further. They allowing transgender to go on and all these co-ed bathrooms, and Caitlyn Jenner is winning Woman of the Year. Just all kind of stuff is going on in the world. I could care less if Drew Brees was riding down the street with a Nazi flag talking about I hate N-words. You play football, buddy. Go throw some touchdowns. It really doesn't matter. Whatever Colin Kaepernick feels. They're athletes. They're not politicians. They're just athletes. Let them be
Well, in
themselves.
today's society, I think athletes have more say than politicians.
Well, I mean,
Right, and they have more
everybody should be entitled to how
Yeah.
they feel. So I mean, that's how you feel. I don't care nothing about what Drew Brees think. If he said I hate all N words, I don't care. Go win us a Super Bowl, okay? That's it. I don't even care.
Stay in your lane.
Yeah.
I will say this, that, I do believe, and Sekou, I promise I'm about to hit the button. We ask our athletes of color, no matter what color, pick a shade, any shade, I really don't care. We ask them to stand up. And when they do, I don't feel like, in my opinion, that we get behind them enough. When Beyonce came out with athletes or people, celebrity, period. When Beyonce came out with Formation, there was a backlash of, oh, this, that, and New Orleans. She spoke up, y'all. Come on, give us some props. Let's go to the line. We have Sekou on line one. Sekou, I'm coming. Sekou, we're on line one. Welcome to The Good Life. We're discussing all kind of stuff. Join the conversation.
Enjoy the dialogue between the three of y'all up there, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Let me just say, let me give myself and we all who listen a history lesson. Francis Scott Key was a lieutenant in the colonial army, right?
Mhm.
Right.
Fighting so-called against the British, right?
Yep.
The British pulled a brilliant tactical move in recruiting and forming enslaved African men, right?
Yep.
Into the colonial Marines,
Yes,
and they
sir.
beat the hell out of the revolutionary, so-called revolutionary forces, which was mostly a rebellion of white men. It was more than a coup d'etat. It wasn't revolution.
Right.
They referred to it as a revolution, but it wasn't. It wasn't to free the people of America, and it damn sure wasn't to free the African enslaved people in
Preach.
America at that time, right?
Preach.
Right.
So the colonial Marines kicked Francis Scott Key behind along with his troops at the Battle of Brandenburg, right?
Mhm.
And he remembered that beating, and at the same time, he claimed that he was so concerned about the general welfare of African people when he was a slave owner and a womanizer and a rapist on the plantation. There are a lot of things that are hidden from our history. And one thing about this country that irks me, the history of this country is so covered up with so many layers of lies that the people can't really see the truth. Paul Robeson, Frederick Douglass, Jackie Robinson, David Walker Peel, Nat Turner, Denmark BC, the Black Seminoles all fought against the oppression of being oppressed in this society. And
Preach.
it's high time we do some serious study of our own history in the context of the so-called American experience, and we get a clearer view of what's really going on. So I appreciate the fact that y'all continue to talk about Kaepernick. In fact, I worked with some kids like Kaepernick in California. I was a counselor in San Francisco. He could have came to one of our programs back then in the 1980s, and he was a victim of what I call white racism rejection, where his mother was a white female and his daddy was a black man, right?
Yeah.
And I encountered kids like that a lot in California. And what they would do, the rich families, well-to-do families, would put them offspring, the so-called offspring of that relationship, into these expensive private schools or expensive treatment child development centers, and they got a good education. That's why Kaepernick able to stand up and talk the way he talked.
Right.
He got a pretty good education, and he got a good sense of himself as a black man.
Right.
And I embrace the brother. I embrace him as a brother.
Got to.
You understand what I'm saying? And,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Whatever cost we got to pay it to get free.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so
understand
much
what
for
I'm
your
saying?
call,
So,
Sekou.
And the
Yes,
people
okay.
just like so people tell them they're gonna burn his jersey and not support the team. Guess what? They got equal other people willing to support him all the way,
Absolutely.
100%.
We all
Y'all
about
have
to
a
buy
good
one.
program. I'm getting out the way. I know you got some other callers want to get in.
Thank you so much.
We just got to know our history, the correct history of
Absolutely.
this country. We won't be confused about what's taking place right now.
Absolutely.
Have a good day, all three of y'all.
You too.
Thank
you
you,
too.
sir.
Thank you so much.
Brother Sekou just nailed that.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
I think I'll give you an example that recently, if you think about the enigmatic processes and behaviors of our American brothers and sisters. LeBron James left Cleveland. The owner of the team that brought him back wrote a letter and took it out in the newspaper and derided him for leaving.
Yeah, they put it on the website and
They
everything.
put it on the website.
Yeah,
You had people burning his jersey because he was such a bad person.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as he came back, you know what all them people had to do? Buy a new jersey.
Oh,
Buy
yeah.
new jerseys.
Spend that money.
Right.
Right. So you take that example of the the loose psychological well-being of people that they become so incensed. Now, that was just LeBron James saying, look, my contract
I'm
is
gonna go
up.
play in Miami.
My contract is up. I fulfill my contractual obligations here, and I'm now going to take a chance somewhere else.
Right.
They got mad livid.
Right.
And then turned around and forgot, and they embraced him. When I go back to Akron, it is an ironic situation to see that the city loves him so much, but there were people who wanted to hate him because he left.
Yeah.
And as Brother Sekou said, something that I've been thinking about a lot, and I teach Black Psych, and it comes to the forefront every time. Do Black people know who they are in this country? I'm not going to say I don't want to go back to Africa, but in this space, I don't have a desire to, because all I know is America. So I'm okay here. Mm-hmm. But we have to know ourselves here. I didn't, we talk about it. I didn't come to America as a slave.
You don't teach it.
Right.
We have to, dig it up and find it, and we have to do it for our children. We have to do it.
I'm going to take a dig at our little charter school system, Orleans Parish School Board thing. We have no reference or relevant history of African Americans in this country as a part of our educational system.
Exactly.
So one of the things my mentor told me, or one of my mentors told me, was if a Black boy or girl doesn't see it, they can't be it. So if we have a system that does not teach of Black excellence, contributions, positive images, positive messages, you can already begin to see the dovetail of when Black boys and girls are going to self-select to not engage in the system anymore. Some of us will fight through, find that. Some of us have role models. It happens in some of our homes. But if you think about what's happening, Colin Kaepernick is calling attention to that system that does not value Black boys and girls. Black people in America have been commodified as an athlete. Anybody out there, I got a dude I rock with, and he has a question in one of his documentaries. He said, name a positive stereotype for Black people that does not involve running, jumping, singing, or dancing. Holler at me. Hit me on Facebook. Let me know if you get one, and I'll tell you if it fits. Name a positive stereotype. Now, think about what Colin Kaepernick is. He's an athlete.
I know
Most people,
one. I can't say it on there. It got to do with us, the brothers.
Okay.
We
I can name one.
Okay,
I
can name
that you
two.
can't use.
I can name
It can't be
two.
a physical. It can't be a physical.
Oh, all right.
What about
all
our
right,
president?
Huh? Okay, so think
Other than
about
our
it.
president?
Yeah, so think about it. A
Senator
positive
Cory Booker.
stereotype. No. Name a positive stereotype about Black people.
Stereotype.
Yeah, not a positive person. Name a
Okay.
positive stereotype about Black people that does not involve running, jumping, singing, or dancing. So it can't be football, basketball.
Can't be physical.
It can't be singing or dancing. It has to be something, and it has to be a positive stereotype. You know what a stereotype is? Name a positive stereotype.
Yeah, we might be on
stumped.
hold the whole
I'll
show.
let your boy.
I feel like I'm on
Shout out
Jeopardy.
to James Morton, Hoodwink.
If you are a listener and you
Holla
can
at your
answer
boy.
this question,
Brian
please
Turner.
call us in.
I'll buy you lunch if you can come up with a good one. Now, it has to be good. It can't be no, far stuff.
Do.
Yeah, I don't know.
Boom, boom. Well, we are going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we have Eric. He's going to hold for the break. Eric, thank you so much. Y'all, we got to open our minds to this, because I was definitely ignorant of the fact. I read the Star Spangled Banner. I opened my mind, so hopefully I opened yours, too. We'll be right back. Gumbo Talk Thursday on the Good Life Radio Show is brought to you by the Downtown Development District. 40 years ago, the DDD was created to foster economic development in the heart of the Crescent City. Well, today, that vision is a real success, and downtown NOLA is thriving. Tune in Thursdays to the Good Life Radio Show at 11 a.m. to connect with shops, businesses, and nationally recognized restaurants in downtown to be a part of what's happening in your city that you call home. Visit Downtown NOLA today. It's the Good Life.
Are you satisfied with your current financial position? My name is Kenneth Barnes, President and CEO of KB Enterprises, where we specialize in putting together step-by-step financial action steps for your plan for today and for tomorrow. Whether you're 50 to 85 and need assistance with your final expenses, we have coverage options for every situation. Let us put life back into your finances. Call us today at 504-914-1202. That's 504-914-1202.
Hi, I'm Henry Jolly, your relationship expert and nationally certified counselor. Everyone at some point in their life goes through struggles. I'm a firm believer that people have the ability to will themselves into good situations, but sometimes they may need some assistance. Being a loving husband, father, and successful businessman while having a passion for the counseling profession has allowed me to gain experience with a variety of these struggles. Let's work together to achieve your individual, family, or marital potential. Come and see me at the New Orleans Growth Center, located at 3712 MacArthur Boulevard on the West Bank in Suite 209. You can reach me at 504-259-8671 or by email, which is henry.jolly@yahoo.com. Thanks for your time, and I'm looking forward to working with you soon.
Are you looking for a better way to get fit? Bored with the same old routines? Looking for results or a way to instill discipline in the kids? Tiger Rock Martial Arts is the answer with Taekwondo, kickboxing, and self-defense classes. Tiger Rock diversifies your training in ways that allows individuals of all ages and fitness levels to feel like a champion. Join Tiger Rock today. TigerRockNola.com or 504-455-9694. That's 504-455-9694 with a 3-class starter pack starting for only $38, which includes your training uniform. Learn, grow, and succeed with Tiger Rock's 3 convenient locations: Old Metairie, West Bank, and Clearview. There's no better time to start gaining strength, skills, and protection for life than now. 504-455-9694. 504-455-9694. See you on the mat.
Carter Business Development delivers. For businesses to compete, they must have access. Let CBD be your bridge for business development services, radio advertising, social media marketing, brand ambassador, outreach, and access. Contact Carter Business Development at 504-400-7127 or email Eileen@tglradioshow.com. Carter Business Development creates unfolding opportunities. CBD connects the dots from where you are to where you want to be. Join the good life now with Carter Business Development, 504-400-7127, 504-400-7127. As quoted, a man who stops advertising to save money is like a man who stops a clock to save time. Let CBD save you time and give you access. Call 504-400-7127, 504-400-7127. Take the steps required for access so you can live the good life too with Carter Business Development. That's 504-400-7127.
Small businesses play an important role in society, and L&R Security is no different. L&R Security delivers safety and comfort to our neighborhoods, events, apartment communities, conventions, work sites, festivals, and your business. L&R Security can be reached at 504-943-3191 to ensure the safety of your employees, customers, family, friends, and you. L&R Security has made its mark in the security arena for over 37 years and will faithfully continue that tradition. Call today for your personalized consultation to ensure your security needs are met. L&R Security differentiates itself by creating partnerships with our clients and guards. We are now hiring armed and unarmed guard professionals, retired military, sheriffs, and PD to grow with us and impact our community. Be a part of the change with L&R Security. Call us now at 504-943-3191. 504-943-3191.
WBOK, real talk for real times. Good night, hey. Good night, yeah. Good night, hey.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on Relationship Tuesday, and we're here to open your mind. We are living The Good Life right here on Relationship Tuesday. And The Good Life is all about opening your mind to living differently in the world. And I will raise my hand because I was very ignorant about a subject, so I went and read up on it. And I decided to maybe spread the word to you because maybe some of you didn't know. So long story short, we have been having the conversation of Colin Kaepernick this morning regarding, his silent protest of not standing for the national anthem. We've also discussed the history, the history of the national anthem, and gave you, a little bit of the third verse, which I'm sure a lot of us did not know, which I know I didn't know, and it opened my mind to living differently in the world. And in that third verse, I'm going to read it for you here. Look, I'm trying to pull it up for you. No refuge could save the hireling and slave from the terror of flight or the gloom of the grave. And the star-spangled banner in triumph doth wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. So we only sing the first verse. You should go look it up for yourself. Read the entire Star-Spangled Banner and read, the history of it, and read the history of Francis Scott Key, who wrote it. Might open your mind to living differently. Well, you may feel a little bit differently as well. We have Eric on the line. He's been holding since the break. So, Eric, I'm going to put you on right now. Good morning, Eric. How are you? Thank you for holding.
Hi, God bless you. How you doing?
God bless you, too,
All right.
as well. Wonderful.
Good. Yeah, I wanted to address the stereotype.
Please.
I feel that blacks are very, very inclusive of others. They will look out for others' causes, sometimes at the detriment and the destruction of their own black community. So I think people do look out to reach out towards blacks because they feel that blacks will come to their aid or to their assistance. So I think that is one stereotype. I don't agree with it, but because, again, it does sometimes put us at our own disadvantage when we try to reach out so much to others, and a lot of times that's not reciprocated.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a stereotype.
Absolutely,
Okay.
Eric. What are your thoughts on the Kaepernick protest, or do you have any that you'd like to share?
I definitely thought he showed a lot of integrity, a lot of self-respect. He did not sell himself out for a paycheck. I think it took a lot of spirituality on his part to have such amount of integrity because, again, a lot of people they'll do whatever it takes to get that paycheck.
Yeah, I'm selling out. I ain't gonna lie. I'm selling out.
Henry.
Well, yeah, again, don't sell out your self-respect and integrity just for a paycheck because money will always be coming your way. You have talent and skills, and God will look after you. So there's no need to sell yourself out. There's more money to come and still keep your self-respect and integrity. There's no way I could support a Drew Brees or anyone who's a known racist who has open contempt and disrespect towards the black community. Again, there's other ways in which I could satisfy whatever I'm looking for without having some kind of racist to provide whatever I'm looking for. There's always much more positive outlets for me to enjoy myself or to have entertainment without relying on some kind of racist. So I think we really have to look at ourselves in terms of why we do what we do. And again, at best, we always have respect and integrity at the forefront of whatever we do. And, we're not perfect. We're not Jesus. We're going to make mistakes.
Right.
But if at all possible, try to do things with respect and integrity because you'll end up in a much better spot down the road.
Absolutely.
Can I say something, brother Eric?
Absolutely.
Let me say it this way, too. I believe, and there are thousands of positive stereotypes about African Americans or black people in this country. I think the point of that issue in the film Hoodwink by James Martin was to bring light to the fact that we as our own selves can find fault in what we do. And I really appreciate the point you made in regards to our willingness to join the plight of others and fight for others. But as you also said, sometimes it's to the detriment of ourselves. And
Right.
I think that's exactly why we find that lack of ability to concretely connect with a positive image of African American status or black status in America. So that's why we're so split on what to do with Colin Kaepernick at times, because some of us say, no, don't rock the boat, don't make waves. Mm-hmm. And then some of us say, no, we need to make more waves, make bigger waves, make faster waves. Because that's what's going to have to happen. And I think that's the point of what he was trying to do in the film. And he can interpret himself if you hit him up or email him. He's very responsive. But to me, my interpretation of that ideal is that we have to promote these positive images of who we are, because then that's when somebody like Drew Brees can not ignore the fact that Colin Kaepernick is right in what he says. And I'll even say Drew Brees can be right, too, that there are issues that you respect or whatever. But sometimes you got to say, man, you know what, that issue right there is a little bit more important right now. And I'm not going to say what you're saying is not important. I'm going to join with you now, and then once we deal with that issue, we'll come back to my issue.
Right.
But see, there's a reason why Drew Brees didn't say we need to address the race issue. He cares about his paycheck. He know better. I'm not gonna say that, man. The one was to turn on me so fast. But Colin Kaepernick was like, shit, I'm gonna just put it out there.
Yeah, but the world doesn't revolve around paycheck. You know, you have people committing suicide, and they have all the money in the world. So obviously, the paycheck is not the end all and be all. I mean, it definitely can be helpful. But I think when you have self-respect and integrity, you have much more peace of mind. We don't have to rely on a dollar bill and materialism to feel better about yourself.
Well, that's true. I mean, if the light's about to get cut off, you might think twice about that.
I'll give you.
We got to save this show to see if Kaepernick employed next year.
I give you a thought though. If you look at
He might have
Kennedy,
saved enough that he's not even worried about it.
Had a lot of integrity, and
they got killed,
for their
man.
family.
But
They're not even worried about
I'll
it.
give you an example.
You know,
You
they
take
definitely provided for their family, so you don't have to sell your soul and sell out just to keep the lights on.
But you see,
Eric.
Yeah, but when they
Thank
said
you,
how they
Eric.
felt, what happened? They both got killed.
I guess what it's for a bigger purpose. But think
you're
about
gonna,
how.
You're going to die anyway.
Yeah, that's true. All right, yeah,
Thank you,
up there.
Eric.
12 and 14-year-olds
take Ted Kennedy.
Demonstrations in Birmingham in the 1960s. So they, at age 12 and 14, they understood it. So if they were acting more like men and women than adults are acting like men and women. These are 12 and 14-year-olds who put their lives on the line for us.
I want to address the
Eric.
kind of elephant in the room. What happens when our European American, our white brothers and sisters stand up for issues of these? I love to use Ted Kennedy's position of supporting President Barack Obama as a candidate and him, in essence, turning away from Hillary Clinton and others. To me, that's an example of he became iconic when he did that. He was at what it's worth, and it's also one of those things of thinking it took a European American man to, in essence, validate a black man to moving forward. But he lost a lot of credibility, but he gained an iconic status. That, in effect, Ted Kennedy, before he passed away from his brain aneurysm and cancer, whatever he had, he was the guy who, in essence, said, I'm vouching for this guy. I'm with Barack Obama. And so, kind of to Henry's point, had Drew Brees really studied the issue, and I'm going to say it this way because I don't know if he has, but I'm going to say if he really studied the issue and sat down with people who are in this area and said, hey, you know, what should I think about this? And if he still said, well, look, I just have to say I disagree, I'm okay with that. But I'm going to lean to the side of thinking I don't think Drew Brees has done a whole bunch of study of it until he shows and proves it, which he may or may not. And I'm just Brian Turner. He may not care what I think. But when a guy like Ted Kennedy in the legislature as a senator stands and says, I'm vouching for this guy, that moves weight. That makes people really think, okay, wait a minute. And there's a thing about allyship and coalitions that it's not until we do have partners that are on the other side of the fence that can vouch for our issues that it really matters. So as long as it's just black people,
Thank you, Brian.
it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt because nobody wants to say they need to change. But when white people start changing, when gay people start helping straight people, when straight people start helping gay people, when poor people start helping rich people start helping poor people, things change. You cannot do it by yourself.
Thank you, Brian. And I go to this point because I sent you all this. It wasn't even a meme. Somebody actually tweeted this out, but it spoke so many volumes to me that I actually reposted it. It is from Alan Etzler. He was from Gulf Week. And he put this out. He said, because it's all in the messenger. You can say the same thing, but it's all in the messenger because Colin Kaepernick, Alan Etzler says, Colin Kaepernick says America is not great. People tell him to leave. Donald Trump says America is not great, and he may become president.
Wow.
Yeah, well, that's it.
Open your mind to living
That's
differently
true.
in the world.
That's true.
The only thing different is the messenger. The
Yeah,
message is
that's
the
true.
same. Colin Kaepernick says America is not great. People tell him to leave. There's an outrage. Donald Trump says America is not great, and he may become president. Same message.
Yeah, you're right.
Different messenger.
Same one. Yeah, that's definitely true.
Really?
All right, wait.
Open your mind, y'all.
Well, y'all have a blessed day then.
Thank you
All
so
right,
much,
brother.
Eric.
Appreciate
Thank
you.
you so much, Eric.
Dang.
It's all in the messenger. People just don't like the messenger. They
So
don't-
Peyton Manning said that this would be different.
It sure would.
Yeah.
If Peyton Manning
was like, I don't.
Unfortunately,
yeah.
He's already retired. So, but if there was, just like you said, Brian, if there was a non-colored
We got a
athlete
too.
that stood up, well, because
right, 'cause he's not straight
Kaepernick
black, right.
added all colors. He added all colors when he said that. He was standing up of all colors. If there was a non-colored major celebrity athlete that did it, it would have a totally different response.
Yeah, let's see how this turns out.
Open your mind to living differently in the world. So, let's challenge Drew Brees. We understand that you appreciate the flag and you salute it, and obviously we do the same. But just like you said, just like with Black Lives Matters and All Lives Matters, it doesn't mean that just because Black Lives Matters doesn't mean that white lives don't matter.
Some people are just so big on.
It's just stop being
respect
tunnel vision.
The flag and
it's like just,
military, and some people are just
I
like that.
kind of feel like the Drew Brees did that. It's like a Black Lives Matter. Oh no, All Lives Matter. Okay, yes, we love the flag, but we can be for this too. We can be for both. Mm-hmm. And so you want to speak up for the flag? Speak up for your Who Dat Nation. The majority of the city that you represent is people of color. Open your mind and live in a different world. I'm going to challenge him.
Come Sunday, he's going to be all good when we win.
Put out a statement about the very important issue. Put out a statement about the very important issue. What very important issue is that?
I'll wait. When
Speak
he invite me to his house,
Speak it.
It'll happen when he invite me to his house.
What very important issue? Speak the very important issue.
Drew
I want to
Brees
know.
invite me to his
My
house.
son,
That's
our
when you know.
children, our children of color are looking up to you. They wear your jerseys. Speak for them too. Open your mind, y'all. It's a good life, and we're out.